On the lookout. There's certainly much that we could say about this gospel passage that is in Luke's gospel, one of the unique passages to the evangelist Luke. But in this year of mercy, I would like us to concentrate on the Father. The Father who's probably more aptly named prodigal father than prodigal son, because he was on the lookout. Can you imagine longing for someone to return to home? Maybe it is someone that you had a broken relationship with, or maybe it's just someone that is sick and you wish they were back in your company. Maybe it's the grief that comes from longing or the loss of someone. That the Father in this particular parable of Jesus was on the lookout. Can you imagine day after day, week after week, having his gaze outward, longing and looking for his son? And finally, he returned, and there was indeed great rejoicing. And just as in this parable, Jesus describes the Father as the one who has his eyes set on his Son to return, so we could also use that description for our good and loving God, that our God is looking out for us. There is a story about a person who feels that God has moved away from them. But the author reminds us that when we feel abandoned or alone, that it is not God who has moved, but rather ourselves. And again, that's a great example for us to examine this relationship that we have with our God. That, as the scripture says, my son was dead and has come back to life. He was lost, and now he is found. And our God looks for us. Our God longs for our return. And sometimes that's not necessarily just a physical return, but an emotional and spiritual one. I oftentimes wonder how God might feel when his beloved children, some of us might be far away from him, but God still looks out for us. He's waiting for us to return with open arms, with a feast that is ready. And we need to be people who are willing to set aside our sinful way and move back closer to a God who looks out for us. This Sunday marks halfway through this time of Lent, this joyful Sunday in this time of Lent, which is why I am wearing these rose vestments today. It is supposed to indicate to us that our journey through this time of Lent is nearing an end, and it is not too late for us. If we are feeling lost or afraid, if we are feeling distant from our loving God in heaven, that God is looking for us to return, because he loves us so very, very much, just like the Father loved the Son, even though he took his inheritance and squandered it. It's as though nothing ever happened. A great way to be when we are loved unconditionally. So may we continue to strive to be close to our God, a God who is on the lookout for us.